Postal 2 needs no introduction. The year is 1997.
No, it isn't!
The year is 1997. Postal, by Running with Scissors, has just hit the PC gaming market, amidst a period where video games were causing chaos within America.
The wall poster of the big E3 computer game show in Atlanta bears the unmistakable image of an AK-47 rifle.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
The name Postal derives from the American colloquialism, going postal, which essentially translates to random wanton murder, destruction and chaos because you're at the absolute end of your fucking tether, which in and of itself is about as American as the concept of a firearm itself. It was as controversial as it was fun? In hindsight, especially given the dated visuals, Postal was incredibly tame. You're given one objective: kill. Wipe your neighborhood with the blood of its residents, except all of your neighbors are packing subcutaneous armor and can tank up to 3 to 4 point-blank shotgun blasts to the face. It took me an embarrassing amount of time to figure out that the only way to make progress onto the next level after you've massacred everything in sight was by mashing the fucking F1 key. All things considered, Postal is far from Running with Scissors' magnum opus, but by no means is it a bad game. But the sequel, oh boy, the sequel. Of course, that's what this video is about, and I'm going to tell you exactly why Postal 2 is Running with Scissors' magnum opus. But first, I like money, and I need to pay my rent. So it's time for the shameless, sibilant shilling section of the video. Hi there, would you like to sign my petition? Oh, well, of course you would. It's a War Thunder petition. War Thunder. Available for free on PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series S and X. Expansive, responsive, and immersive wartime vehicle combat, spanning 100 years of technical development. Customization, camouflage, fully personalizable weapons of war at your fingertips. I love tanks, and I love tank combat, and War Thunder has this in droves. Over 2,500 in fact, taken from 10 major nations from across the globe, coupled with exhilarating air-to-air combat and naval combat, the weight of which you'll feel like you have the entire world on your shoulders. You don't need a controller, you don't need a full pilot's rig to enjoy the game. A keyboard and mouse is more than enough, and the game is so well optimized from over a decade's development that anyone and everyone can pretty much run the game. Did I mention that it's free? Yes, you can download for free now using the link in the description and claim a massive bonus pack available for new and returning players across all platforms, including 7 days of a premium account, the Eagle of Valor decoration, as well as 100,000 silver lions to aid you in creating the ultimate war machine. And don't forget, this is a limited time offer, so act now. War Thunder. Postal 2 is a very difficult game for me to write about. It's very difficult for me to write anything funny for this review because Postal 2, the game, is the joke. Your penis is a weapon. You can whip it out and piss all over people to your heart's content. The local corner shop where you buy milk from is a Taliban hideout. There is an honest-to-God race war between the church and the caliphate that occurs in the second chapter of the game. You smoke crack to regain your health.
This can't be good for me, but I feel great.
This game is a masterpiece. Postal 2 is not trying to make a statement, it is the statement. It is the most absurd, violent, obscene boomer schizokino of the 21st century, and most of the violence doesn't even come from the player. Running with Scissors was very plain in his advertising. Postal 2 is only as violent as you are. The AI inhabiting this disgusting little corner of Arizona do not need your help in burning the town down. Your only objective is that of surviving the week and finishing your chores for the day. How you go about this is up to you. You can absolutely kick the door in of your local corner shop and massacre everyone within sight because the clerk charged you $5 for a carton of milk. Or you could wait 5 minutes in the queue.
I can help you over here, please.
Hi.
Hey.
How you doing?
Do I know you?
Glad to hear it.
Is this everything?
Uh-huh.
That'll be $20.
You could get fired from your job.
Nothing personal, man, but you're fired.
But I just started yesterday.
and help defend it from angry protesters with extreme prejudice. Or you could slink out the back door and act like nothing happened. The core gameplay of Postal 2 is as much of a statement as the actual context of what the living fuck is happening itself. Bear in mind, this was released in 2003. Violent video games were still tearing apart America, and politicians and media pundits alike were bravely trying to stem the tide against angsty teenagers and bullied nerds. The obscene content, juxtaposed by the very generous player input and the option to play through the entire thing passively without killing a single human being, leaving any further chaos in the hands of the individual player, is a very conscious, deliberate decision. One that not only opens up a wild world of replayability for any given encounter, but one further emphasizing the statement that playing video games does not make you a violent, crack-fueled lunatic. The world is perfectly capable of spawning those on its own. I mean, on the other hand, the further you progress in the game, you're all but forced into violent altercations with your fellow neighbors.
Oh my God, Billy Bob, now he's got the show.
And although you can absolutely scum your way through these sections without killing anyone, with the disgusting amount of weapons and even more disgusting amount of enemies beset upon you, you're counterintuitively invited to go ham on every motherfucker in sight. So, the actual game, Postal 2, follows a very simple formula. Wake up, shit, get out of bed. Go through a list of chores you need to take care of around town, try not to die. The latter of which an increasingly difficult endeavor. There are dozens of lunatics around town just itching for an excuse to blast your ass. Protesters, religious extremists.
We're not zealots! Eat lead and die, unbelieving heathen scum.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Drunk rednecks and angry postal workers all want you dead. Not much has changed in the last 20 years, has it? Some tasks are incredibly simple, requiring very little violence and minimal golden showers, such as voting.
We know that young families need support to raise their children, and I intend on extending a tax cut for
They're
those.
eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats.
Other endeavors, however, like visiting the local library, you will incur the wrath of eco-terrorists who want to burn down the library and ban books to protect the environment. Surviving the encounter will permanently mark you for death from these factions. You can slink by relatively quietly through Monday, but by the time you hit Tuesday, half the town is going to be out for your blood for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. It gets so bad that by the time you hit Thursday, the National Guard descends upon the town to maintain the national order, and they do not take kindly to castle doctrine.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you.
So, what's the solution? How do you maintain a peaceful diplomatic position in the face of absolutely everyone wanting you dead? Well, it's simple. Join the police force.
Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. Oh boy,
Scumbag right here.
hey.
Right
Excuse me, pardon me.
That's the stuff.
Yeah, locker room.
In the locker room of the top floor of the police station, there is a police uniform that is the perfect size for your skinny little ass. The uniform is a good enough disguise for you to be able to blend in among the populace trying to hunt you down. Best of all, the uniform gives you the authority to brutalize citizens and murder jaywalkers with absolutely zero consequences.
Hey guys, how's it going? I wonder who did that.
I'd say it's almost mandatory that you raid the police station and grab the uniform, because it makes the remainder days in the base game so much easier. Because not only do you keep getting into literal pissing matches with a new enemy faction every other day, the police will start raiding buildings wherever you just so happen to be. I mean, given the sheer amount of gunfire and the rapid decline of society within Paradise, Arizona, it's not much of a surprise. However, if you're wearing a police uniform when the authorities raid the building, as stated before, they will not try to arrest or murder you. In fact, if anything, you'd probably be given a medal. The sheer scale of violence and the amount of dead criminals you drop would make even Cole Phelps blush. All this over some steaks. Other times, you'll go somewhere to commit a very menial task only for the building to start fucking blowing up for no reason, and the game suddenly channels Half-Life 1 level design. The point is, no task is as simple as it sounds. A simple trip to the post office leads to you receiving an express package from Mr. Kaczynski himself. Buying an exclusive collector's edition of an action figure railroads you into a boss battle with a giant bullsack with a rocket launcher, whom you have to defeat by playing fucking football with the guided missiles being fired at you. But unlike some other games in the series...
Oh, AIDS cat, AIDS pussy. Oh fuck, I'm out of shit. I'm out of shit.
Two gringo snake out, pussy.
Postal 2 does not insist upon itself. These things kind of just happen. They don't overstay their welcome, and the flanderization of pretty much everything within Postal 2 is just the right amount of schizo without falling into cringe. It's very much a time capsule. It's a game that could only come from the social and political context of 2003. It's irreverent and trashy, but not tastelessly so. In fact, I'd go so far as to say Postal 2 is surprisingly eerie. There is very little music in Postal 2. When you're wandering paradise, there is no music whatsoever, in fact, when you're wandering the town, leaving only the ambience and the noise from your neighbors perforating the area. And what little music there is almost always part of the ambience, be it the music complementing the corner shop, or the perversely peaceful music echoing through the speakers in the mall. A lot of ambience in Postal 2 is actually lifted straight from Postal 1, which wields its horror elements a lot more plainly. Postal 2 is also subtly horrific, as if there's an additional layer lurking beneath the surface of lol lamau, this shit is pretty fucked up, to oh god, this shit is actually pretty fucked up. Postal 2's understated nature is perfectly in play in regards to this uncanny factor with its atmosphere. It is equally as ridiculous as it is horrific. Postal 2 plays no punches in regards to its gore and violence, and from the perspective of the player as the Postal dude, at first it comes off as absolutely ludicrous. But if you stop for a second and actually acknowledge what's going on, good lord, this game is dark. Maybe equaling in darkness to the first game, but presented in a completely different, vastly more subtle, multi-layered way. I mean, to be fair, it's pretty hard to top Postal 1 in terms of darkness, given the main menu is just... Postal 1 received a remake a few years ago, by the way, Postal Redux, and I'd personally say it's a far and away superior version of the original Oh, I forgot. They did an Easter egg tie-in with Destructive Creations' Hatred. You know, that hatred.
My name is not important. What is important is I fucking love the coffin of Andy and Laylee.
Wait, what? While I haven't played Paradise Lost, I have played Apocalypse Weekend, and for what it's worth, it's pretty alright, but horrifically linear. Much of Postal 2's strength comes from the open-ended sandbox design of Paradise itself. If you were to take out the objective and chores you have to go through to complete the game and just left the random, kooky, crazy shit you do in the open world, the game would lose its charm very quickly. On the other hand, Apocalypse Weekend sheds much of the open-ended nuance of the base game and railroads you into scripted encounters after scripted encounters that overstay their welcome far too often. It's not bad, it's still pretty fun given what you're allowed to play with in each segment, but it is not Postal 2. The opening of Apocalypse Weekend is pretty funny to me anyway, given that you wake up in a hospital to find the apocalypse has just died, except you're not Rick Grimes fighting zombies, you're a schizo ginger dude fighting Tasmanian devil pussycats. So all in all, that's all I really have to say about Postal 2. I'm sure there's plenty more I can personally talk about, but there are plenty of other YouTubers who've already talked about those aspects of the game. Postal 2 is a fascinatingly disturbing game, one that could not possibly be made again today. I mean, yeah, we have Postal 4, but it's just not the same, guys. Regardless, thank you all so much for watching. And don't forget, War Thunder is free to download using the link in the description. Come on, you get a free bonus pack, 100,000 silver lines. There's 70 million players on this game, and you're not one of them? Look, there's tanks, airplanes. Do it! Thank you all so much to my very generous, very patient Patreon donors. I don't know how many times I've said that by now, but this past year has been incredibly hard for me. I'm working on my personal life right now, but it means so much to me that you're all still here, contributing and anticipating my content. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. Social media links in the description. Thanks again, everyone, and please, have a great day.